Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back again to our channel here in Elite Raceway, a league specifically dedicated for drivers who aim to master limited to no assist racing. We are here in the Marina Bay Singapore Street Circuit with our talented tier group here for, I believe, yes, for round 4 of season 4. So, 17 drivers on the grid. Let's see who is out up in front. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that would be Psycho Lemmy. But yeah, like I said before, 17 drivers participating today, a bigger group this week. So we are glad to see everyone here on track. We also want to give a few shout outs to a few new drivers joining us today. A nice warm welcome. We have Psycho Lemmy, who is on his hot lap currently. We also have here Marky Root in the Red Bull up in front, as well as Noah Batluck and Kenton and Rudy. So quite a couple new drivers. Gonna have to get used to their names. So sorry if I butcher them. But yeah, we are very excited to see what they bring to the league. And let me just make sure the sound is okay. Alrighty, so yes, we do have Psycho Lemmy on the track, putting the first lap of the qualifying session. So it will be about 31 laps around the Marina Bay Circuit today. And for those that are watching for the first time, our drivers are doing an 18-minute short qualifying session right now to establish their starting position for the race. So we do have Psycho Lemmy going around the last corner, and looks like he is going to put in a 127.7. And right behind him, if I'm not mistaken, that is... Who is that? Oh, that's Cowboys for Life, putting in 129.3. So, a few track facts about the Singapore circuit. First Grand Prix was in 2008. First ever track to hold the first nighttime race in F1 history. Track length is about 5.65 kilometers. In miles, that would be 3.147. Lap record by Daniel Ricciardo last year in the Visa Cash app on his last race with a 134.4. And we had Sean Frosty up ahead, putting a 128.3. That moves him up to P2 at the moment. We also have Kyle left the session, who is another fast driver in our group, putting in his hot lap right now. But regarding the track, last year was updated, so turns 16 to 19 were removed. So it is a 19-turn street circuit instead of a 23-turn track. And they did add a fourth DRS zone in real life after turn 14, but That hasn't been updated in the game, so there are three DRS zones, one on the main straight at the start finish line, the second between turns 5 and 7, and the third one between, I have to mentally count, between turns 13 and 14. And we have DRS Maestro up ahead. He put in a 127.9, only 2/10 off of Psycho Lemmy. Was saying how I did bring a faster driver, but it is a good competition for him. And looks like Kyle backed out of that, so he is going back into the pits. And there is also a an end plate there. I'm guessing that was from Sean Frosty going back into the pits. Ooh, there's a little bit of contact. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is Mark, who should be getting out the way for drivers putting on their hot lap. XM putting a 129.1, that puts him up to P4. And Sean Frosty back out on his outlap, so is going to put in another time. And Psycho Lemmy saying he is going to do a last to first. I don't know how that's possible when you're already in first. But a few drivers who haven't yet put in their lap time. We have Snake and Beans, Don Valentin, Kyle, and Rudy in the back. Snake and Beans letting a couple drivers out. Yeah, we do have DRS Maestro putting in a new lap. Does have that flashing light on his fuel, but we'll see if he'll still finish it. But regarding the race, corner cuts and penalties are going to be a matter on this track. We did see last season as well, many drivers like, I'm not mistaken, Kyle and Sean, they racked up quite a few penalties that cost them the win. And luckily, that actually helped me get the win with that penalty gap. Um, but yeah, just just a message to drivers to push to the limits, but do so within the track limits. And in addition, also the other penalties like 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. The exit out of this pit lane is quite tricky as well. You want to avoid crossing that white line and receiving a penalty. But, ooh, DRS Maestro putting a 127.6. And speaking of DRS Maestro, let's not forget our good friend last season received not only one, not only two, but also three drive-through penalties in this track. So just a little reminder to slow down when you have the Delta for the virtual. And Sean Frosty putting in a 127.6 as well. So only 100ths off of DRS Maestro. And Kyle left the session, dropping the mic with a 127.1, so 5/10 ahead of DRS Maestro and Sean Frosty. And we also have Don Valentin on his hot lap as well. Only 2 drivers left to put in a lap time. Going around the final corners, and we'll see what he's going to be putting in. And it looks like that is a 130.7. That puts him up to P10, right behind his teammate Vroom. And I think Snake and Beans is also going on it for his second lap as well. And he is going to improve, puts in a 132.7. That keeps him in P15. We do have Psycho Lemmy on his lap as well. And I think that was also, and Kimbrough, yeah, who Psycho Lemmy was getting past. So just a reminder to a couple of drivers, of course, pay attention to your mirrors or the track map. We do encourage to have the full track map, just so you can see when cars are coming up behind. So if that way, you'll know if they are on a hot lap or not. But always best to get out the way when the car is right behind you. Oh, Psycho Lemmy painting the wall a little bit there, but looks like he is going to put a 127.4. So he did improve on his time. That puts him up to P2. I do think the bit of the impeding from other cars getting in the way, but he's still able to put in a really good time. He could probably put an even better time though. We also do have Don Valentin, his teammate Vroom, moving up to P6 with the 129.1. Oh, getting very close to the wall right there, but still doing quite well. I know it's not exactly the easiest track on the track list. And he did put in a 130.3, so that puts him back up to P10. So we do have 3 minutes left of the qualifying session. So, keeping you up to date regarding our Tier 2 standings, as mentioned before, this is our 4th race of the season. We have a 13 race track for this Season 4 calendar, so we'll have 9 races left after this the Singapore Grand Prix. At the moment, we do have DRS Maestro leading the championship with 113 points. Following behind him, we do have both Vroom and Sean, both having the same number of points with a 35 points behind DRS Maestro, holding second and third with 78 points each. DRS Maestro has won each race so far, so will he be able to get a fourth win again and continue to stack up those points? We'll just have to see. He does have some competition up ahead, but like we say, anything can happen. We might also have an underdog come into the battle mid-season. We don't know. And regarding our Constructors Championship, we do have Vroom and Don Valentin teaming up to keep the Aston Martin team up ahead. They do have 141 points together. Behind them in second, we have Sean and Mr. Quick and Thick, who isn't here today in the Sauber, with 116 points. And in third place at the moment, we had our solo wolf, DRS Maestro, keeping his 113 points for the team, carrying the team. He does have now a new teammate who is, if I'm not mistaken, is Mark. Yeah, it's Marky Mark. So we'll look forward to seeing what both those drivers do. But Kyle left the session. I believe that was Psycho Lemmy. Don't know what happened there, but we'll see. Yep, Kyle left the session putting in a 126.8. And we do have Darren Maestro and Sean Frosty out on their out lap. So Sean Frosty's up 6/10, it says. So we'll keep an eye on both Sean Frosty and DRS Maestro. It is looking quite solid. He is in sector 2. We'll see how much he's able to improve on his time. Is up 5/10. So is he able to get past Kyle left the session? Did get that purple second sector. And looks like not enough, but he does get up to P2 with a 127.0. DRS Maestro right behind is going around the last corner and looks like he is going to put in a 127.2. Not enough to get the front row, but still a good time. Alrighty, so this is our grid. We have Kyle left the session in P1, followed by Sean Frosty, DRS Maestro, XM, Vroom, Cowboys for Life, Jake, Dammy, Noah, Kenton, Don Valentin, and Kimbrough, Polo Drew, Snake and Beans, Mark, Rudy, and Psycho Lemmy. So we are looking forward to this. Let me just remind them to not ready up. Let me give me 1 second. But yeah, those who are new to our league, who are watching for the first time, just a reminder that we don't let the drivers ready up immediately. We do like to give them a couple minutes after qualifying to kind of get their strategies and setups in place. Uh, and if those on track are listening in, it would be nice to know what the weather is going to be. We have seen on this track go go from dry to wet, so would be interesting to find out what their plans is. And looks like somebody did ready up, but that's not a problem. Formation lap is on. We do encourage drivers not to step away from their computer screen just in case this happens. We usually typically don't restart the race just because the chances of that happening again are quite uh, possible as well. But yeah, so they'll be going around for the formation lap. Get those tires warmed up, and let's see. Yeah, so we do have the tires up. But yeah, just giving them a little reminder to drive sensible on the first lap. It is a narrow track, walls are everywhere. Uh, First lap, first corners, be prepared to brake early just because obviously the car in front of you will most likely have a car in front of them. So braking will be different. But yeah, keep it clean, have fun. So we do only have 4 drivers on the hard compounds. We have Kyle, Sean, Vroom, and Dr. Dammy. So interesting to see what their strategy is going to be in the future. Wondering if there will be early safety cars or not. But yeah, they are piling up. Alrighty, so will Kyle be able to maintain his lead at the first corner? We'll just have to see. I believe that is, yeah, is Rudy catching up. He did send me a message. He wasn't aware there was no traction in this league, but respects for him for going around the first lap. He said he's gonna retire in the pits. I know it is a difficult thing to handle with this game, but props to those who are able to. Alrighty, so lights are out and away they go. DRS Maestro having a really good start of the race right there. Already getting past Sean Frosty up to P2. Looks like Sean Frosty's going to battle that out. Couple changes happening here and there. Jake moving up to P5, getting past Cowboys for Life. Polar Drew picking up a 10-second penalty for a collision with Snake and Beans. Oh, there's Maestro getting very close to the back of Sean Frosty right there. And that is in the back Vroom. I wonder if he has any damage. Looks like he doesn't, so he just might be slowing down to let cars passed by. Must have had a rough start right there. But Jake on a mission is on the back of XM. Psycho Lemmy getting past Cowboys for life. And looks like Don Valentin going on the inside. Contact. Had a bit of a send right there. Kenton as well getting affected by that collision. So Psycho Lemmy still doing well to maintain P7. If I'm not mistaken, he actually started... Yeah, he started at the back and already within a one lap is already up 10 positions. So Psycho Lemmy from P17 to P10. So fantastic race by him right now. And looks like Kyle is up over a second ahead of Sean Frosty, having a really good start of the race right there. Ooh, having a little bit of a kiss on the wall. And a little bit of contact between Don Valentin and Dr. Dammy. Kenton staying right behind. In the back, we have Polo Drew getting around Snake and Beans. And you have Rudy retiring in the pits. Snake and Beans trying to go for that opening, backs out. So DRS is enabled, so we have quite a few drivers right behind each other. We have Don Valentin going on the inside of Dr. Dammy, slots right behind though. Kenton right behind Don Valentin as well. And is he going to be able to make a move? Oh, they leave the space, but looks like Kenton decided to back out of that. Psycho Lemmy getting the fastest lap with a 131.1. And now Snake and Beans picking up a 10-second penalty for entering the speeding in the pit lane. I wouldn't give up just yet, just because of the nature of this track. Safety cars are possible. So I do hope he is able to rack up some points today. He has been quite unlucky with the first couple races of the season. But a nice battle between Dr. Dammy, Don Valentin, and Kenton. Oh, Don Valentin hits the wall, loses the car right there, and Kenton gets affected by that again. Very unlucky for Kenton. That's the second time already. And unfortunately, Don Valentin getting a 10-second penalty for that contact after losing the car. Mark benefiting from that up to P11. Looked like he was going to go for the attack on Noah, but looks like he's going to back out. We do have Psycho still on a mission up to P6 now. Is behind our favorite Jake. Oh, having a little bit of a oopsie right there. So he's going to have the DRS on Jake now. So is he able to get past? Looks like he's going to get an easy pass on Jake right there with the help of DRS. And up ahead we do have DRS Maestro still within the DRS of Sean Frosty. Less than a second right behind Sean Frosty. Right behind we have Kenton making a move on Polar Droog. And Snake and Beans retiring in the pits. Very unfortunate for him. I think he hasn't had much luck on the races. And Kyle getting the fastest lap of the 130.5. And up ahead, we do have DRS Maestro closing in quite a lot on Sean Frosty. So he is on the medium compounds. Sean Frosty and Kyle both on the hards. So if no safety car comes out, this might benefit them a lot. Ooh, Kenton getting past 2 cars already, so he is up to P10, getting past Mark and Polar Droog. DRS Maestro closing in quite a lot on Sean Frosty still. Well, isn't going to make the move yet. We do have a couple of drivers in the back battling out as well. Polar Droog within the DRS of Mark, and Mark within the DRS of Kenton as well. Although Mark is backing out a little bit, and oh, that's Polar Droog going on the inside. And Vroom getting the pass as well. Nicely done by those two. But Polar Drew does have a 10-second penalty, Don Valentine as well. But Don Valentine is over 8 seconds ahead of Kenton. And oh, I think that is Mark into the wall, has no right end plate. So he is going to have to go into the pits to get that fixed. DRS Maestro still on the back of Sean Frosty. No, his major competitor, Psycho Lemmy, right behind. So he is going to be under pressure by Psycho Lemmy, so DRS Maestro has to get the move done on Sean Frosty. Noah in the back picking up a 3-second penalty for a multiple warnings. So position changes, that is 13 now for Psycho Lemmy, so he is just eating it up, climbing up the grid. Fantastic job by him. Oh, let's not jinx it. Jeez. And Psycho Lemmy is quite squiggly on the track. I'm not exactly sure if it's the tires giving out on him or what, but he is scaring us quite a bit with those with those losses. And DRS Maestro thinking about going on the inside, and Psycho Lemmy saying, "You took too long. I'm going to make the move." Up to P3 now. Kyle still with a comfortable lead of over 3 seconds ahead of Sean Frosty. And I think that was a little bit of contact between DRS Maestro and Lemmy, but still nothing bad. But DRS Maestro backing out, losing a little bit of time right there. And it looks like that's another driver retiring in the pits. And behind for P6, we also have Cowboys for Life on the back of Jake. Does have the DRS. He doesn't have a lot of battery left, but neither does Jake. Yeah, he's closing in quite a bit. We still have Psycho Lemmy on the back of Sean. And that is yellow flags. That is Cowboys for Life, unfortunately, who was right on the back of Jake. Is going to lose on that, and Dr. Dammy, I believe, is... Oh, well, he was coming up right behind, but looks like he had a little bit of an incident as well. And looks like DRS Maestro is dropping back quite a bit from Psycho Lemmy and Sean. Is using a bit of battery to kind of keep up with them. Is within now the DRS. But Psycho Lemmy on the gearbox of Sean Frosty now. So is he going to be able to make a move on this next DRS straight? Oh, Sean Frosty losing it a little bit there. So Psycho Lemmy's going to have a really good entrance there for the next corner and gets that move done. Sean Frosty trying to go for the switchback is unable to, and Psycho Lemmy stays ahead in P2. Oh, Sean Frosty going on the inside actually stays within the track. Yeah, so interesting battle. DRS Maestro still staying in P4, just eyeing the competition. Oh, Psycho Lemmy going on the inside. Contact between both drivers, and looks like DRS Maestro is going to slot right through into P3. And I believe that is the Hasselhoff and Kimbrough letting the leading cars up ahead pass. And that is yellow flags. I believe that is... Yeah, it looks like that's N. Kimbrough. Broom having gone past his teammate Don Valentin. Up to P10 now. And Kyle now picking up a 3-second penalty. So he better pray and hope that there is no safety car. Would be horrible to miss out on another win in Singapore again due to penalties. And it looks like Psycho Lemmy is going to go into the pits, is going to opt for the set of hards. And we do have Vroom on the back of Kenton as well, in the back. His teammate actually having dropped back quite a bit after he got past him. But DRS Maestro closing in quite a lot on Sean. Looked like he was going to make a move. And oh, looks like that was an incident. Uh, yeah, looks like that was an incident. Don Valentin out of the session. And that was a reset on track, I believe, from Sean Frosty, so we'll have to review that later. But yeah, DRS Maestro, well, safety car is out, and DRS Maestro up ahead in P2 now. Kyle going into the pits. And Sean Frosty picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Exactly what I was mentioning earlier in the qualifying session, that penalties are going to hurt in this track. So I know for sure DRS Maestro is smiling after that. And we do have Dr. Dammy staying out with the 11-lap-old hards. Might not have been a great idea. Does have his teammate right behind him. Vroom as well staying out on the 11-lap-old hards. But it will pay off if there is another safety car, so maybe that's what they're counting on. But regarding penalties, we do have Kyle up in first with a 3-second penalty, and Kimbrough as well. And we do have Sean Frosty and Polar Drew with a 10-second penalty. So I think we did have a couple other drivers with 10 seconds, but they may have served it. Don Valentin, I believe, had one as well, but unfortunately that's not going to affect his race. So we only have 2 drivers on the mediums. That is Kyle and Sean Frosty. And if my mathematics are correct, there are 18 laps left of the Singapore Grand Prix. So those tires might be eaten up at the end. So just to go over some position changes as well. So as mentioned before, Dr. Dammy and Vroom haven't pit. So we have DRS Maestro up 1, Dr. Dammy up 4, Psycholemi up 12. His teammate ahead still hasn't pit, so he can get that position, so probably 13 positions up. Has done really well today. And a really good debut on his first race with us. They are waiting, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is Polar Drew to catch up to the rest of the grid. Loving the helmet of the I'm here for the sausage sizzle. Actually, I haven't seen that. That's actually something I'd probably see Turtle Commander wearing. Kind of like a dad joke. Podrick has caught up with the grid. Looks like the safety car is going to go around one more time. So just to recap, we do have Kyle leading the race as of now. Right behind him, DRS Maestro and Sean Frosty. Oh, Kyle getting very close to the back of that safety car. I'd be a little bit careful. We've seen Jake run into that safety car, and that thing is made out of steel, so I'd probably avoid touching it. Alrighty, so safety car is in this lap. As mentioned before, we have Kyle setting the pace for the safety car restart. This is going to give the safety car enough time to get back into the pits. Is he off yet? No, looks like he's still waiting. Has everybody bundled up together. And he is off now and having a really good start right there. Oh, contact between the two Ferraris. And looks like that is... my God. Yeah, that is yellow flags, no safety car as of yet. XM picking up a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. That may have been an illegal overtake, possibly a bit of a confusion between the everybody being bundled up. But Kyle still up ahead over a second lead, and Sean Frosty right behind the back of DRS Maestro as well. So it is probably going to take a couple of laps for those hard compounds to actually kick in. But DRS Maestro is actually faring quite well. DRS is still not enabled yet. It should be enabled on the next lap. But Sean Frosty is still tailing right behind DRS Maestro. XM following right behind as well, who is under pressure by Jake. Although Jake has fallen back a little bit right there. So as mentioned before, Sean Frosty does have that 10-second penalty. And is he going to be able to make a move before turn one? No, looks like he's going to stay right behind. The DRS is enabled now, so he will get the DRS on, ironically, DRS on the next straight. Does get that flap open, and looks like he is going to get an easy pass on DRS Maestro right there. XM right behind as well. And that is yellow flags. I believe that is Psycho Lemmy again. Oh, goes on the inside of Polar Drew. Goes for a nice switchback and gets past easily. You do have Kenton as well on the back of Cowboys for Life. Oh, a little bit of a slip right there, but still does well to stay close. And that is yellow flags. I think that's N. Kimbrough coming out of the pit lane. Do have to go quite slow out of that, so that might be why. And Kenton getting really close on the back of Cowboy. And DR's Maestro up ahead actually dropped back a little bit, now over a second behind of Sean Frosty. And is Kenton going to be able to make a move? Looks like he is going to go on the inside. Gets that pass on Cowboys, but Cowboys actually putting up a little bit of a fight. Really good job by those two to give each other room. Cowboy not backing out there, but looks like he's going to have to give out that position. And DRS Maestro now over 2 seconds behind of Sean Frosty. Doesn't have any damage, so he might just be pacing himself. He does have the hard compounds compared to Sean Frosty and Kyle, who are on the mediums. Still plenty of race left. So if there is no safety car, then that's going to benefit DRS Maestro a lot. And that is probably why Cowboys for Life with end plate damage. Missing both end plates, but he is doing well to actually keep the car steady there. It's quite a tricky track to actually go around this circuit with no end plates or with any wing damage, really. It does give you the straight line speed, but not exactly the best. But Kenton closing in quite a bit on room now. XM already less than a second behind of DRS Maestro, so he's probably going to get the DRS on him. Ooh, Psycho Lemmy getting past Cowboy. Yeah, Cowboys is going to be suffering a little bit with those missing end plates. Going around that track is going to be miserable. So he might be hoping for a safety car to kind of help him out there. And hopefully a safety car that's not caused by him crashing into the wall. But Kenton closing in quite a lot on room now, is getting that DRS on him. So is he able to get the move done on this next upcoming DRS zone? Has to have a really good exit here. Oh, almost loses the car and looks like he's going to miss out on that overtake. Is backing out a little bit. And yeah, Cowboys for Life retiring in the pits. That's unfortunate because yeah, I mean those that missing end plate, those missing end plates are going to be miserable. And surprisingly, only one safety car. So really good driving by these guys, keeping it away from the wall. Although a few incidents right here, here and there. And looks like Vroom is actually going into the pits. He was on those 18-lap-old hards. So Kenton is now up to P6. Psycho Lemmy actually going around the outside. Actually caught me by surprise there. Nicely done by Psycho. And we do have XM still on the back of DRS Maestro. And looks like DRS Maestro is still within that 10-second penalty gap from Sean Frosty. So XM can actually, if he gets that penalty removed, we're not exactly sure what happened there at the safety car restart. But if he does get that removed, he could probably gain a few positions. But as of now, he'll probably lose positions if Jake and Psycho Lemmy stay within those 10 seconds of XM's penalty. So 10 laps left. Mark getting past the DNF car of Cowboy. And that is yellow flags, and that is Kenton. Kenton having crashed out right there. But still in P7. Psycho Lemmy picking up a 3-second penalty, but it doesn't look like that's going to affect him. But we will keep an eye on that delta between Jake, although he is on 1 lap older tires than Jake. And XM actually dropping back from DRS Maestro. So they're both on equal tires. But 10 laps remaining. And looks like XM is still probably going to get the DRS on DRS Maestro. Oh, actually, no. It looks like he is going to get past Mark. Mark actually has both end plates missing. So quite a few cars having touched the wall. Luckily, still remaining in the race, but yeah, still damage to the car. So if it stays like this, looks like Kyle is most likely going to get the win. And he has missed out on a few races, so it is nice to see him back on the track. And already getting the win, stealing the win from DRS Maestro. But yep, looks like Psycho Lemmy did close that gap from Jake and is now less than a second behind them. So we will keep an eye on him. Mark picking up a 3-second penalty, unfortunately. And yep, Psycho Lemmy is closing in on the gearbox of Jake. Is going to get the DRS now. And is he going to get the move done? Yep, gets past Jake easily and is behind the ghosted car of Mark for blue flags right there, but no effect done right there. So Psycho let me up to P5 from P17. Really nice race for him. A couple of incidents here and there, but still doing really well to climb back up into the grid. And we do have N Kimbrough in the back going for the soft compounds now. So there are 8 laps remaining of the race. And that's a virtual safety car, and I wonder who that was. And it looks like Sean Frosty is going to go into the pits, which is actually probably a good idea. He is going to get rid of that 10-second penalty. And Psycho Lemmy as well going into the pits is going to go for the medium compounds now. So yeah, it is only a virtual safety card, so the DRS Maestro up to P2, XM up now to P3, and Jake actually up in P4, having a really good race unexpectedly. Yeah, came out of left field. Jake now up in P4, hoping he has a really good result. Psycho Lemmy picking up a drive-through penalty now for speeding under the virtual safety car. So that is going to hurt very much. Very unfortunate. I mean, he was having a great race, already up more than 10th positions. Is going to have to serve that now. We have 7 laps left. Jake, you're doing great. Hope to see you on the podium. And that is a blue flags. That is Mark having a little bit of a spin there, but I don't think he has any damage. Yeah, it doesn't look like from up here. Very hard to tell. And that is another car as well. That is Psycho Lemmy going into the pits. Either to serve the drive-through or retire. Looks like he's just going to serve it. And actually, no. Looks like he is going for a change of wing and tires. So he is going to have to he is going to have to serve that penalty soon. And Kyle picking up another 3-second penalty, so DRS Maestro is only 9 seconds behind Kyle. So Kyle has to really lock in and make sure he doesn't get those another 3 seconds. And yeah, Lemmy, I'm looking at the live chat. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. You're having a really good race too. Oh man. So it looks like everybody is spaced out now, and that is the yellow flags. That is Mark on the wall. Looks like he does have wing damage now. Does have his teammate coming up right behind. Yeah, it looks like DRS Maestro is going to get past. And does actually get the DRS off of his teammate right there. So 5 laps remaining, and Kyle does have 14-lap-old medium compounds, DRS Maestro with 14-lap-old hards. So will the mediums affect Kyle's race at the end? Because it might be a struggle. And it looks like DRS Maestro is actually gaining quite a bit of time there. And we also have Vroom on the back of Polar Drew as well. Vroom on fresh 6-lap-old mediums compared to Polar Drew's 14-lap-old hards. And Vroom is going to get that pass done. Moves up to P7 now. Unfortunate for his teammate who DNF'd from the session, but Vroom is going to put in some good points for their team to keep them up ahead. And DRS Maestro actually still closing in on Kyle, closing that gap. So as mentioned before, Kyle does have that 6-second penalty. So DRS Maestro 7.5 seconds behind. So will DRS Maestro be able to close that gap and get that win? And Jake as well in P4, staying within that 10-second penalty of XM. Not sure if he's going to be able to remove that, but we'll just have to see. But either way, race-wise, Jake will get that P3 if he stays within that 10 seconds of XM. And I'm not exactly sure if Psycho Lemmy... So I think he did serve that drive-through, so he's in P10. And we do have DRS Maestro on the back of N. Kimbrel, who is being lapped. Was probably hoping for that DRS, but... And Kimbrel getting out the way for the leading cars. Still a good job, and unfortunately picks up a 3-second penalty there. So that is 6 seconds of penalties in total. And we are keeping an eye on that delta with DRS. It is now over 6 seconds, right behind of Kyle. So Kyle's mediums might be dropping off now. He is using that battery to stay ahead, but DRS Maestro doing equally well to save that battery. So 2 laps remaining, and will DRS Maestro be able to close that gap? We are keeping an eye on it. So he does have to focus on not getting his own penalties there. And he did go a little bit wide and did lose out quite a bit there. And Jake actually falling back a little bit as well. Now 8 seconds behind of XM. Ooh, 9 seconds now. And tire difference, they're both on equal tires. Yeah, XM and Jake's both on 18 lap old hards. Jake 9.2 seconds behind of XM, who has 10 seconds of penalties. Oh, and DRS Maestro closing that gap, now 6.2 seconds behind of Kyle. Mark picking up a 3-second penalty, so that is 6 seconds in total, as well as and Kimbrough. It looks like those hard compounds are benefiting DRS Maestro. So last lap has started. He is right on the border of getting that win. Both trying to use that battery to to improve. And Jake now out of that 10-second gap, over 10 seconds behind of XM. So will something happen on the last couple corners? And DRS has to get a really good exit here, use that battery, close that gap. 6.1 seconds behind of Kyle. Right on the border now, less than 6 seconds behind of Kyle. Has to make sure no mistakes on these last couple corners. And looks like he is going to get it. DRS with the win. Keeping it suspenseful on the last couple of laps. And looks like Jake, oh well, Sean Frosty is right behind Jake now. Trying to go for that P4. XM serving that 10-second penalty. Ooh, and that is a big mistake from Jake and Sean Frosty. Sorry, from Sean, but Sean actually showing some really good sportsmanship right there, letting Jake pass. And Psycho Lemmy getting the fastest lap of the 129.0. Yeah, good sportsmanship from Sean. Obviously, the adrenaline kicks in. Mistakes happen, but very nice from him to acknowledge that and let Jake pass. But I think one more lap, he probably could have had him. He's probably hoping for that one more lap. And yeah, those penalties are unfair, but I mean, gotta keep it within the track. But DRS Maestro now 4 wins in a row. He did say he was aiming to get the record of the league with the most wins. Uh, I think league-wise, that might be from B-Thom, but we'll have to double check that. I know I said that last time, but that just reminded me. I have to check again. Cycle let me getting the driver of the day. Well deserved, really. I mean, he did. I mean, P17 to P7 in 1 lap. Jeez. Alrighty, so to go over our final grid, we have DRS Maestro with the win in P1, Kyle and XM in P2, P3. Then in P4, Jake, followed by Sean Frosty. Kenton on his debut doing really well to go from P10 to P6. Next, we have Vroom, Polodrug, Dr. Dami, Psycho Lemmy, who had a really good race. A couple of incidents here and there. Had a unfortunate drive through, but still well done. I mean, honestly, really well done. Then we had Ned Kimbrough, Mark on his first race as well. Had a couple spins, but honestly, respects taking up no traction in this league. Uh, then our DNFs, we have 5 by Cowboys, Don Valentin, Noah, Snake and Beans, and Rudy. But honestly, well done by these guys. Very, very well done. And hopefully, we'll see them next week again in. Let me just double check. In España, in Spain. So we are looking forward to that, really. And also, thank you again, everybody who is watching, everybody who is on the live chat. We do have our no assist division racing in 1 hour. So that will be hosted by me, La Rodri, with the division admin Turtle Commander 7. So stay tuned and make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're ever interested in racing, our Discord link is in the description of the YouTube. So feel free to join us. Always happy to have new drivers racing with us. But yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you again, and we'll catch you guys later.